Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. Now, today is going to be we're going to be getting to the Blade Should You Core video. However, in the very beginning, before we get started with that, we are going to do a third event recap really quickly, just to really hammer down what has changed. Finally, all of the information for this upcoming event that starts later on today at 2 p.m., the Vampiric Frenzy event, has been known. The Alliance donation stuff is now live. I made a post on my Discord server about this, but I wanted to cover it in the beginning of this video before we get to the question of whether or not you should power core for Blade. And some of this is actually, all related, because some of the candy that you're going to be getting from this event, you can also get from the Blade campaign. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. So first off, really quickly, the changes that were made, they changed the donation button to now it says Alliance Gifts. Okay, now I'm not going to click on the boxes because I do not want to claim this right now. However, you can see behind, because I've already done a donation for the day, that now there is 3 different donations that you can do. There's 1,000 gold, 1,000 silver promo credits, and 500 dark promotion credits. Now, you can see that you get 1,000 candy, 6,000 candy, and 9,000 candy. You get a variety of XP as well. We're going to cover the math really quickly on this one as well. But don't worry, you do not need to donate dark promo credits. I think they are absolutely insane, though. I don't know why they just didn't add gold promo credits or something, but nobody in their right mind is going to be giving away 500 DPCs, and not definitely for that kind of candy payout. So I would recommend doing the silver promos if you have, like me, a lot stacked up. If you don't, you may need to core in order to donate twice for the gold. We'll take a look at that really quickly over here. I do have on the chart. So, to get the full amount of the web milestones, remember, we need to spend 400,000 candy. That's fine. You can do that now, because if you watch my previous video, you can buy candy at 600,000 gold for 10,000 candy. You're going to need to make sure that you do this every single day if you want to clear this web milestone and have an easier chance at getting those extra Thanos endgame shards for this event. That's going to be really important. Now, I do want to kind of go down to the Alliance donation stuff. So box 1 has 5,000 candy, 2, 10,000, 3, 10,000, 4, 12, 5. Now, you're probably not getting to box 5 because you would need to do 30 silver promo donations, which is more than 24 people, which would require people to core and do this. You could actually probably do 12 more gold donations, but nonetheless, you need more than like 24 donations in order to do this. For box 4, this is the goal that you're going to try to get to, which requires 12 silver promo donations and 12 gold donations. I think you could also do 6 silver promo donations and 18 gold donations, or no, that wouldn't work. I think it's this, right? You would have to double up and do more gold donations. So like less silver promos means that people would have to core and do more gold donations. So this is the easiest way for 24 members, is that at least half the Alliance has to do the donations for silver promos. Now, that means daily, you're going to be getting 37,500 from the 4 boxes, the candy. Now, if you're also donating silver promos, you're getting 6,000. So that's actually more like 43.5. So over 6 days, all I did, though, was just multiply this. So I wasn't adding, I don't know if you're donating gold or silver promos, but just from the boxes, if you're doing 4 boxes over 6 days, you're getting 225,000 candy. Okay. Now, if you do the 180, or you'll get also 180,000 candy if you do your gold purchases. That's 3 purchases, or 1.8 million gold spent per day over 6 days. You're going to get 30,000 candy per day from the store without refreshing or anything, and that'll give you an extra 180k. And these 2 values bring you up to 400,000, which you would need to spend before it goes away, the 6 days. So that's fine, and that'll give you up to milestone 15, which is where you want, if you're doing 200 cores daily, into your showcase energy. One thing really quick is I just want to talk about the candy that you can get from Blade. Now, this is if you unlock Blade, which we're going to talk about here today. If you unlock Blade, or if you core for Blade, you can get access to the various Chapter 2 missions. Now, Mission 1, which is requiring 3 yellow Blade, gives you about an additional candies of 10,400 a day, because you can farm this 20 times before it exhausts. Is that worth it for not for the sake of the candy? I don't think it's worth doing, but I just want to let you know that over the course of 6 days, it would add an extra 62,000 candy. You're basically getting 600,000 gold worth of candies per day if you unlock Blade early, but it's not a good excuse on its own to unlock Blade. It's only that if you were going to do that, it's a little bit of a bonus, and going forward, I guess, for the whole month of October as well. So just wanted to point that out there. I think that's it all there. So yeah, 400,000 should be easy to get as long as you're doing the Alliance donations up to box 4, and you're also doing the other stuff, the spending your gold to get candies. I talked about it yesterday about the update video 2, right, about what you could be buying with the gold, with the candy. I'm not going to go over that again. Here, obviously, the sugar rush. Make sure you're doing that at 2 p.m., right? Not when you start seeing this video, but at 2 p.m. when it resets. So let's talk about Blade, because we're here to talk about Blade. This is Should You Core. We're already 5 minutes in. So Blade is a Hero City Mystic Brawler, Night Stalker character, right? And so this is all like, he's the first character of the team. Now, I want, before we go any further, I do want to say that I have heard rumors that Blade will be getting a free-to-play unlock event. I don't know when, but I know it's going to be that first. I think that he's going to be that character on the team that's going to get it. Why? I've also heard that that's happening. However, he is also the first character. Now, before we had Gladiator and Sentinel, they were both the first characters that were released, and they also had free-to-play unlock events. Gladiator did take a little bit longer, but they kind of learned their lesson on Sentinel, and it only took about like 2 weeks, I believe, before that happened. So I do think that Blade is going to get one fairly soonish, comparably to Sentinel. So do keep that in mind. And there's some issues that I have with Blade, mainly his kit without awakened abilities. So we're going to be taking a look at this from the 7775 perspective, and I want to show you like what the awakens do and what that adds to his kit. So the basic Silver Slash, 200% piercing, plus reduce speed bar by 10%, repeat the attack once. So this is 20% speed bar reduction. If you have Striker, it's only going to attack one extra time, so you only get 10%, but a Striker attack would net 30% speed bar reduction on the base. Like if you're using the basic and then you follow up again. It's okay. For what it is, it's not too bad. Especially if he gets assists. We're going to talk about that. I'm actually going to jump straight down to the passive, because my biggest issue here is that he doesn't have any awaken. The passive is locked behind paywalls. The passive is going to be an offer, a daisy chain, where you have to spend probably somewhere around $100 in order to get it. You'd have to like buy the first offer, and then you get the second offer to buy the passive. The ultimate is going to be available through the candy store. You can get it actually starting right now. The special and the basic, we don't know yet as far as where it's going to be. There's probably going to be some free-to-play ability. Well, maybe not, because we're already getting a free-to-play for the alt. I don't know what the other two. But the passive here, Daywalker, characters killed by Blade cannot be revived. Fine. This probably has some good PvP applicabilities. Unsuccessful attack by this character, clear defense up, plus apply defense down to each attack target. So this would be good for like his AoE adjacent attacks, right? So you're pretty much always going to apply defense down. At the end of any turn, flip, slow, and offense down on 2 random Night Stalker allies or self that have slow or offense down. So a lot of this is applicability in raids. However, it's all game modes. So depending on who you're going up against, this could have value. And it's the end of any turn. So very likely they're not going to be slowed for very long, if that's the case, depending on how many Night Stalkers you're running in this team, or if you're using them plug and play. This character's attack deals additional. This part, really, like I guess in a mirror match, but other than that, right now has like almost no value. The 30% drain is okay, but in the context of the team, Agatha already gives, I want to say 25. I don't remember offhand, but already gives drain to the team. Now, this is really important, and what makes Blade important to being plug and play is his Awaken passive on self or ally crit on the following ally turn, gain assist now, plus 10% crit chance for self and all allies. Now, I think this is pretty low. Honestly, this is fine for all allies, but as far as the team goes, I think it should have been like 10% for all allies and then like 25% within the Night Stalkers team, because I do feel that that's, even within the raid team, it's pretty low in my opinion. So that's my only problem. And again, this is what makes him more plug and play viable, but you're not going to have this unless you spend. We have no idea what the free-to-play pathway is for this. For Ares, it took 2 months before players got free-to-play passive Awakened. So as far as Blade goes, I don't know when we're going to get it, and I think that's a big hit against him. Now, his ultimate, Dampier's Fury, is on a cooldown of 6, attacks primary target for 2. I like that it has piercing at least. Reduce speed bar by 25%, and steal 20% health from the target and redistribute to self. Attack primary targets and adjacent targets. So it does 290 piercing plus 320. So it's like 610 to the primary target and then 320 to the adjacent targets, and reduces speed bar by 25%. So that primary is getting 50% speed bar reduction. Everyone else is getting 25. Clears immunity applies disrupt for 2 turns. So it's a pretty good attack. Attacks and everything's ignoring like defense up as well is unavoidable. Unavoidable is great. Now the ultimate, which the awakened, which you can get from the store, from the candy store, applies blind to all the primary and secondary targets. That's actually pretty good. But I feel like the plug and play value of Blade, a lot of it comes down to that passive. Otherwise, it's just again something that you're going to be using in the team for raids. But even I've seen the playtest footage that some of the envoys put out, and honestly, I don't believe that it's actually Blade that's doing most of the work in the raids. Glaive Volley, a special, attack primary and adjacent targets for 260 piercing, plus clear speed up, and apply slow. This attack again ignores defense up, unavoidable. So I love that all his attacks are unavoidable. It's a low cooldown, but I feel that without the awakened on this one, it also loses a lot of value. Now it's all negative effects on self. This is actually pretty big, in my opinion, because I find that actually where does that? It's actually after the damage. Now that's the only unfortunate thing. It actually happens after the damage. I do love attacks that clear before any damage is done, but it is what it is. And it also clears one negative effect from all allies. So I actually think this is pretty impactful, actually, believe it or not, because it's on such a low cooldown as well. But this one is locked, and we don't know when we're going to get that one. So between the special and the passive, I actually do feel it's a pretty big hit against this kit. That's just my thoughts. And I just am not 100% sure if Blade is going to be the character that is going to really help improve your raid gameplay. Now, I know what some people are going to say. I have Mephisto. I have Odin. How much do I actually need the Night Stalkers team? And that's a very valid question. If you are within a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, or already have Odin, you probably don't need this team right now. Because if you have Odin, you are actually simming. And if you have Odin, you probably have Mephisto. But you are simming, Mystic, Orcus, D3. And so there's a pretty big question mark as to whether or not this team is necessary. Now, this team will be usable in Battle World. It's also going to be usable in PvP. However, to what extent at the 3 yellow star level in the PvP realm of things, it's really hard to tell. A lot of the Envoy gameplay footage was at like 7-7. So honestly, I would take that with a massive grain of salt of whether or not they're able to do the same kind of punch-ups with at like 3 yellow. I'm not sure. But as far as raids go for, let's say, early and mid-game players who are kind of far away from Mephisto, I don't think that value personally is going to come from Blade. Like if you just add Blade currently with Agatha and Moon Knight, I don't think it's really going to change much in the Orcus raids for you. If you're running like D0 or D1 Orcus raids, it might. But for D2 and D3, I don't think him alone is going to make a big enough difference without the impact of Oath. Oh yeah, and I forgot to add this in. This is going to be thrown in somewhere because I forgot to record this. I recorded this after I finished the video. But in case you do unlock Blade, I just wanted to cover his gear really quickly. He does only require 3 pieces of gear: a focus, a damage, and a health red piece, or any other, like relevant tier piece. He does require, however, nanobots, bloodborne nanobots. This is the same as Gore, the God Butcher, who has a strike pass running right now, actually. So if you are someone who buys passes, you will get some of his red uniques in there. Also, this is the same unique, I believe, that is going to be required for Oath. So I think I already talked about Oath in this video, or I will do so. So keep that in mind depending on whether or not you want a gear Blade or not. Now, this is not an Oath video, but there's just so much on her kit in raids specifically that I think that she is going to be the one that is going to be much more important for you to core than Blade. And also with the knowledge that Blade might be getting a free-to-play event, I'm a bit reticent to core on him, because I don't really need him right now. And the only other reason why you would want a core for Blade would be to get extra candies, like for the next however long, right, ahead, because you'd be farming that Showcase Chapter 2 node. But other than that, like, I don't think it's a huge deal in my opinion. Again, the reason why we're on Oath is because there's so much stuff here that I feel is just so much more important. Like, if I had to choose a third character, it would be Oath. Because when we had Sentinel and the other 2 Orcus members were able to 3-man the Orcus raid for tech, and so I think that Oath is going to be that character for the raids for Night Stalkers for those who need it. You get the on-spawn 6 ability energy. This is huge for like refilling up Agatha's ult because it's just on such a huge cooldown. And then on enemy controller turn, applying Safeguard to self and all Night Stalker allies. There's the on enemy death, fill speed bar for the team, and ability energy. This is like the death pool mechanic when you kill people. There's so much stuff here that applies to the raids. And yes, there is a lot of raid text for Oath, But if that's what your goal is, if that's what you're looking for, is help in clearing the raid nodes, I don't think it's going to come from Blade. That's just my thoughts. Again, we're going to have this in more details when we do the Should You Core Oath video, which is probably going to be in 7 to 10 days from now. But I just don't think that Blade is going to be the one that's going to help solve your problems, especially without the Awakened abilities. Without, if you're a spender, go for it, right? Like if you're going to buy the Awakened passive, go for it. But for free to play players, I'm probably going to take a pass. Now, the good thing is that you will be able to core him for the next 8 weeks, probably like 40 days or whatever, his core orb is up. And we don't know right now. I don't know right now how good his phase 1 orb is going to be. We're going to be getting it. It's in the Dark Future event that starts later on today. But the orb itself is not in the store yet, so I haven't had a chance to examine it to see if it's like the Sentinel orb, because during Dark Future we were getting Sentinel phase 1 orbs and that guaranteed 1 shard. So if that's what it's going to look like for Blade, then if you want to core for him, he might not require as many cores because of the weekly drip that we're going to be getting from Dark Future, and then that Night Stalkers version of it that's coming out next week. So just some thoughts there. Final answer, should you core? I'm not going to. I don't think I'm going to on either my main or my alt account. But if you're definitely someone who is kind of coming up on Odin, or you might do so within the next month, I would hold off. And with the knowledge that he might be getting a free-to-play event pretty soon, if you want to later on, you could always come back and core for him later. But I just don't think right now it's going to really change much in your gameplay, in my opinion, that I think it's worth holding your cores and making sure that you do get Oath unlocked, who I think is going to have much more better value at this time for free-to-play players. That's just my thoughts. Also, let me know what your comments are let me know what in the comments down below. God, I need to stop recording videos late at night. And also, I hope that the kind of recap there of the event at the start of the video kind of helps you guys. I didn't want to do another video. I had to combine the two. I didn't want to do 2 separate videos. So that's it for me, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.